Yeah, last month.
Wow. Yeah, baby, life changing.
Remember our last conversation? I had a whole extended speech about how life is short and it's not no longer dependent on your age or health.
Yep.
That's what that's where his mind was. I think he was trying to distract himself with computer stuff after it happened, and that's when he accidentally wiped all our stuff from the from the drive. So, I let him know it's okay. That could be a sign for us to start all over. Maybe life ain't the same for nobody at this stage. So again, life is short, not dependent on anything. So maybe we need to start over. Maybe all that stuff. Plus, he had a backup from that was as recent as 3 years ago. So, in worst case scenario, we'll only be missing the last 3 years of stuff. But it's a couple of documents that, I'm letting him do his, go through his grieving process because black men don't really do it. So in my own way, I'm letting him do whatever that is. Yeah, whatever that is, or step in and just be there because he likes to be around, for me to be just around, even if he's just distracting himself or whatever. And I'm an independent spirit, so I have to work with. It ain't no big deal. I love him, so I have to work within myself and get out of my introvertism, and maybe just go sit in the room with him while he's messing with the computer. Just be in there, and not be aggravated when he. Get all affectionate, which I don't complain about at all, because it's too many people in the world that don't have that. So I'm not, but
that's right.
He lost a parent. Nobody ever ready for that, even if you got your.
When it could have been a real space of healing.
Right. It can go either way for anybody. It just depends on how strong or maybe not strong or weak is the wrong word, but those are the words I'm gonna use because it's me and you. But how strong or weak somebody is in terms, because it can be like like you said, it could be the most intelligent person, but if they not strong in terms of loss, and nobody can determine that. Even somebody that we thought would be the one person to handle everything well, it could go vice versa, or it could go exactly like you thought it, or it could go exactly like you thought. So there's ain't no clairvoyance on individual response to that kind of loss. So he's processing anger that he has because he is an intelligent person. So he's processing some anger that our families don't discuss finances. To be responsible with these things. So or even you don't, so for so long that even when you do, so you're under the impression that well, surely since my parents have discussed this, surely they have done what they advise us to do. Nope. All you can do is all you can do, but you'd be like, I hate y'all. I hate we, because it's still us going through it. I hate we're going through it, and I hate that you have to be, because there's some things that his sister, like I said, I always, as I talk shit about her, I always don't shade her from growing up at a late age, which I never expected, but she, from when she lost her husband just a couple of years ago, a few years ago,
that's right.
So the elements aligned for us in different ways, even though they sound real tragic, but in a good way, it gave her the experience of knowing as a widow the stuff that her mom is gonna now need to do, getting her name on stuff and handling stuff that she found out learn the hard way that she had to do. Like I said, the energies, whatever the fuck they are, whoever, white Jesus, whoever the fuck we supposed to be, because you don't know what to believe no more. Once you realize everything is bullshit, you don't know what to believe. Whatever the fucking things that are aligned, they align for us, and they constantly protect us in ways that we have no idea. It's what everybody is taught. God works in mysterious ways, and she does whatever God is to whoever. So, that kind of prepared her to be ready for it. It prepared, if I think about it, prepared one of my sisters, my entrepreneurial sister, because she and her husband sold their business at the end of, in November of last year. And so they sold their business right before all this went down. So that was perfect timing for them. You know what I mean?
Right,
so things that look really, that have in the past, and I've always known that, that, because your spirit is one of those. So those things they really do align in a way. Yes, just like what I was saying about me, even me, even everybody that knew me, I think maybe even you included, because it was only, the last decade that I got into gardening at all. Why did I do that? Well, now I need that shit. You know what I mean? Right. I didn't know how to cook either. He didn't marry me for he didn't marry me for my cooking. So So that, getting interested in gardening made me start being interested in what flavors. So I started being like, oh, I bet this would be what, and then not to mention cannabis and the munchies, that together made me take the gardening interest into the kitchen. And then it really was gardening. I found out gardening table been a thing. I'm like, gardening table, that been a thing. So if you look at all those elements, everything really does align. We really are special and amazing species.
Yes, we are.
But nobody knows it. But like a handful of, 2%. It's sad to watch our species self-destruct. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And it's not, once the majority, no matter how powerful us few are, when you see the majority on I got so high last night. I was laughing so hard because I was like, oh man, I was like, it's such a crapshoot. I was like, we got two old white dudes with Alzheimer's running against each other for president. And I was like, this is.
I had a moment too.
I was like,
this is some bullshit.
I was like, wait. I was like, both of them are got literal clinical dementia.
Yeah, literal.
And these are like, I was like, you know what? Hand me the bubbler. I'm going to town tonight because and our hands are tied. I'm finna just whatever. It's okay. I'm good.
That's it. That's what we got.
And then even sadder that we all gotta participate. You got I gotta vote. You gotta, and we know which one we gotta pick. But the fact of the matter is, like, these are on both sides.
I know.
These are fucking can't. I'm like, what? But yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever. That's my new shit. It's whatever. I went from really wild to.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm cool. It's whatever. I'm cool with it. Let's go. You remember a couple years ago, I would always say, I guess I'll just meet y'all at the gas chambers then, because y'all, everybody's okay with it, and y'all know where this nigga's finna take us, so I'll meet y'all there. I practice holding my breath, see if I can last longer than the rest of y'all, but.
And dumb down so much
that the woke people are unknowingly, unwittingly also participating. It's just.
Absolutely.
It's like, wow, you know what? It's okay. But really, part of it's easy to get people, the masses with, the cognitive dissonance that is a catalyst for the brainwash. But one of the best ways to get even an intelligent person is with extremism. It's almost like someone who's smart enough to know they're dumb enough to listen. You know what I mean? So they actually do listen and learn. It's like young people who first get into something extreme, like, say, Jehovah's Witness, or even, let's say, the hotel, what I call a hotel people, extreme, Muslims or whatever. Yep. They're so adamant about it that they end up, for example, they end up bad-mouthing Obama just because he's a politician, which is, for the most part, justified, because he's literally the only politician that I've ever given any humane quality to. But, I mean, when he's the other choice, what is there to discuss? There's, nothing to talk about. He's the guy, period. Even if you don't like anybody, or if you like everybody, there's no reason to not think that he would be the only human qualified to do anything. But even still, people act like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna vote for it. They're like, there shouldn't even be a border on, you gotta consider. But so now that we fucked that up, and now it's gotten to the extreme, it's it's not even, to me, I like to lean on the fact that we live the lives of choosing the lesser of two evils, because that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what America is, and that's okay, because unless you move in the country, you ain't gonna change it. That's what it is. So we gotta participate. But the fact that we let it get down to where the lesser of two evils, both are so vile, I just gotta laugh. I just gotta laugh, and we literally enabled it. And people are literally still saying that we're extreme for saying that things are going to happen that are actually happening. We still crazy for saying that. The fact that they even look at a conspiracy theorist as being a bad thing. Because you know what? I thought about it. If you define conspiracy theory, it's a theory. That's the whole fucking source. It's a theory. You ain't saying you know anything. Yeah, the whole term is a narrative. The whole term is exactly. Because a conspiracy theory comes about From you using your actual mind to speculate what could possibly be an option. You're not saying this what, you're not even saying this what happened. You're basically saying, what if they such and such? That's all you're saying. And we already imagine that we already send somebody to crazy house when they say, what if? We already ready to go, oh Lord, here they go.
It's such a shame.
Instead of saying, yeah, what if? We say, oh my God, here they go. Yeah. It ain't difficult when you got cannabis though, cause fuck that shit. Like Cat Williams said, it'll give you some fuck it. You'll be like, your lights are, what he said, your lights will go out. You'll be like, fuck it, I got candles. And I also like that you can either not give a fuck when it ain't shit you can do. And also, it sits your ass down and you really think about shit you can do something about. You be like, you know what? I don't have to. That's some bullshit. I'm finna go handle that. you know how you, and then even after you sober up, I can still remember, be like, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? I'm just, I made that.
I'll tell you right now. I need clarity.
Yes.
Nobody says.
Yes, and that's the spiritual aspect of the quote unquote peace pipe that ancestors have been using. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
I tell people, just hit it and sit with yourself. You're gonna be, it's gonna be amazing. I make it sound groundbreaking because it is groundbreaking, but the experience of it is just really, it really is natural. It's just like you getting to know yourself all over again. And what you're really capable of. Like you really been underestimating yourself all this. Even if you had confidence, you've still been underestimating yourself. Because you had all the confidence in the wrong things with the wrong motives. You're like, if I have genuine motive, this could be some long-lasting joy. What the fuck? I've been playing this colonized American game, valuing all the wrong shit. What happens when you got no good people to share all that good shit with?
Girl.
Come on, man. Yeah, that bitch was a nightmare. Capitalism. Coke, Rockefellers, Coke.
Get some worker bees.
Yeah. The Walmart Disney family, all them hoes. They all. You know what's really crazy to me? It's not crazy to me that they doing it, and that it's what's crazy to me is that fucking hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking me up. It's like, yo, y'all okay with this? Are y'all okay with this? And like, just like people will see the celebrities who they admire, and then it's like, bro, you can only be disappointed in this motherfucker if you ever believed in this motherfucker.
Come on, baby.
The only way this person can disappoint you is if you ever believed in and supported it. So think about the choices you making and the motives you have. Because if it's certain people, when certain things go viral about them, I'm like, if y'all really gave a fuck, y'all wouldn't even address this.
Come on,
y'all would keep it silent and see what they do. Keep it silent and see if they react or respond, or if their next move is to do something even more drastic to get more attention. Like, I really do respect. It's one of these situations where, Oprah, the Smith family, the whole Smith family, bitch. I'm like, how do y'all have this world on a string like this? Like, how y'all keep doing it the same way? Y'all don't have to revise nothing. They don't have to improve, get slicker. Nobody got to get slicker. I remember when in the 80s when infomercials were born, because that's what decade they were born. And I used to watch it. This is before they came with the whole quiet, low, extra minute full of side effects at the end. So this is when this is when they was really popping. Before they had to come back 5 years later and say, if you or your family has ever gotten mesothelioma from this drug we've been promoting in the 80s, because that's when that motherfucker started. But I was like, what's crazy is they see everything, and then a few years later they see the warning lawyer video, but they still go for every new prescription.
Every single thing.
You gonna go for this new prescription when in 2 years now the time is less. It's less time. I was like, now it's like 2 years, and then you'd be like, have you ever taken Zantac? That's supposed to be for just what do you call it? Heartburn. Like, that's, everybody got heartburn. Like, and now y'all got a fucking warning, deadly cancer. If you ever taken Zantac, that's half the population that been heartburn from the shit we eat. So I'm like, what's killing me is not just the white brands, because they're not really canceling them. Those brands are gonna be fine. You know what I mean? But then the black ones that they fake cancel, and I'm like, but y'all canceling them like you didn't give them the platform.
Come on, girl. Come on.
I'm like, that's so. I was like, I want to do a video. I want to do a video about why I'm not mad that this brand fucked y'all.
Exactly.
Because you bent over, like and I'm not even just shading the brand, because really, if you shouldn't really have to go do, this is a different era though, but you shouldn't have to do the homework of finding out if you're supporting good people. But this is what world we in right now. So if you gonna support a brand, and I pat myself on the back because even for as long as I've been doing videos, I will always hide the brand. I'll be like, they ain't paying me, number two, and number one, I can't be sure that they're not racist. I always used to slip that in. This is before all of this, before trade law, this is before all this. Sometimes I'll say, I'll tell y'all the brand just because they make it affordable for people who are not in a tax bracket, not because I trust them not to be racist.
That's right.
But
That's right.
they make it affordable for people that want to try. You know, I'll give them that credit. I just keep it like that. And people shouldn't really have to go through all them details or whatever. But my point is that it's been important, and I've been trying to stress to people, and I'm not even exhausted, but it's just frustrating to know at the end of the day, we got to walk to the concentration camps with them, period.
I know.
It's so fucking goddamn. But okay, I mean, okay, long as I, like you say, as long as I got introduced to the doorway to the goddess in me, even through the catalyst of cannabis, you know. And I'm just glad that it happened before I signed out of this bitch.
Goddess in me. I love that.
Yeah. I was like, bitch, that's you? You me? Word?
Yes.
Girl, you should have heard what they oh, you did hear it? Okay. I was like, you should have heard what they taught me. What they taught me about you was, I heard you with this white dude. She like, yeah, it looked like his name Bradley or some shit. Yeah, girl. It had him in a cloak and shit up on a cross with some like thieves on either side and shit. She's like, bitch, that didn't happen. and look, and bitch, what do you think the anointed healing oil actually was?
Come on, baby.
But I'ma chill.
Come on, baby. Yes, ma'am.
I'm like, when I think about that, I was like, so Jesus, he wiped some oil on some lepers and they were healed? Damn, that sounds a whole lot like RSO, but okay.
Exactly.
Okay. We on the bullshit level of this game.
Right.
Or maybe we gotta sign it because even if we don't reach a bunch of people, maybe that energy will be put into the universe, and maybe it'll hit somebody in the forehead and they'll wake up. Oh, that's a good way. Oh, that's a good way to look at it. I'm gonna adopt that.
You're paving the way for them.
Oh, I'm gonna adopt that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I embrace that.
I handle it. You know what I'm saying?
I embrace that. Yes, I receive it. I receive it. I receive it.
I
Yeah, that'll ease up my frustrations, but not that they take over me, because like I said again, I would medicate in a minute. So speaking of, tell me about my new clients on one of my last clips. I included two of them, but I omitted this one, and it was basically saying, you know, the reality is that we gonna actually have those of us in the cannabis community will actually have to literally, this is not an exaggeration, watch people we love die.
Oh, yes, honey, we're doing it now.
Behind their resistance to use something that will...
We're doing it right now, baby.
Yeah, because I believe, like on me specifically, you know I'm clairvoyant. I figure, well, whenever I do die, I added 10 years to my life. I figure if you start early enough, you add a decade on your life. And I was thinking about his dad and the one time I got really, really upset. I was like, you know, it sounds far-fetched. I was like, but you're at a stage where it could add... You don't know, it could add a decade to your life. Okay, it might add 3 years, it might add 5 years, but you might could add another decade on you. Like, and not just a regular decade, a functional decade.
It's so sad.
Like a functional decade where you could take yourself to the bathroom.
My daddy would not have done it either.
And I feel like he didn't have to be on dialysis patient. He could have, if he would have started before he even got sick enough to have dialysis, he wouldn't have never had dialysis.
Right.
The reality is, my parents, my aunt and uncle, we gonna watch people, and it's not gonna be just gonna be cross fingers. It's not just gonna be old people. We're gonna be watching people voluntarily. Well, I guess the same way we're gonna be watching people take that vaccine. So whatever.
Exactly.
They gonna get me, but believe me, they gonna have to hold me down when they do it. But they gonna get me, because they can't afford not to make all of us take it. But I told people, I was like, watch. Well, I was like, at the end of the day, when everybody quote unquote is safe to go back to work and school, it's gonna be only if you have if you have proof that you have been vaccinated. You can only fly. You can only do anything. You can only travel. You can only so that's gonna be everybody. You can only go to school.
You can scary, but true.
Yeah, so we all get the mark of the beast, bitch.
So scary, but true.
The beast. You thought the beast was? Oh well, the beast is the devil, but he was walking right amongst us, huh?
Come on, baby.
And
Come on.
and he leading our country. Guess what? And
So
plus I'm batshit passionate about it.
That's exactly. I know, and that's why I'm like, whatever I can. If I can blow her up, then I'm gonna blow her up.
I messed around and found this lady, and I'm still an introvert, so I was like, it's hard for me to say anything. So I still haven't, bitch. But eventually I will, because I have to smoke some weed and say, look. You the main one to tell people, don't just be spamming people that ain't your target audience, that's thirsty as hell. It's like, but when you see somebody that's your target audience, then that's the person you should address. I gotta convince myself to say something. Like, cause I can't promote my own damn self. I need to take some sociopath notes from the Smith family or some shit. So,
Okay.
but I'm sitting here, when I'm watching this lady, and I'm like, she's a prime target. And she was talking about how, she just started like at the end of last year, and she moved, to somewhere where she could medically, she got a medical card and moved, and she got started. And it sounded like people in her family weren't educated, and because she was from a religious family, but her rheumatoid arthritis just got her. She couldn't even function, right? So she broke down and did it, and now so she has to. What's interesting is, because like I said, she's still new, and she's an older woman, because she just said, I heard her say, she said, yeah, so not till I was 56, and I was like, oh, this bitch is my audience. And so I was just listening to her, and it was funny to listen to her say she still can't admit that she actually likes smoking better. She does, but she can't admit it, because in her mind, and I know because I grew up as in a church family, in the South.
Yeah.
And so she's like, so she's trying to explain it, because somebody had told her, she started with vaping because that's what everybody does, and somebody told her, she was like, well, how do you know how you're supposed to feel? Because vaping made her sick for some reason. So somebody had told her, and I'm glad they did. They told her, they said, well, how do you know if you haven't even ever so much as smoked a joint? And, because the vape made her sick. And she was like, how do you know what being high actually even feels like? And I guess she thought about it, because her venturing into weed make her think about stuff and more open to stuff. And so she was like, you're right. So she had tried, I guess, the pre-rolls or whatever. And, you could see her, she still don't even really know how to smoke one. But you can tell, and she can tell, because she does heavier CBD, for her medical wellness. And so she was explaining how, for her body, the combination of both CBD, she was like, they have things over the counter and even multi-level marketing CBD. She's like, that none of that stuff does anything for me. She's like, it's more beneficial for both, the combination of both. And I was like, oh, she done her research. So I'm listening to her, right? But she's saying like, she's like, but when I smoke, it's better for like my body. And I think personally that feels like she can control it more, because when you smoke, it's kind of instant and lasts for however long, and then you smoke again or whatever. And so I think because she's so Bible Belt brainwashed, she affiliates the idea of smoking with drugs, because we all have been.
That is exactly right.
Yeah, so I'm listening to her, and as I hear her talk, I know exactly what she's feeling and saying, and I'm like, it's so funny, because she still, to this day, she can't really admit that she actually likes smoking better. She can't even admit it, and it's so funny to me, because I know why she can't admit it, but she's still waking up. I was like, I like to see her in another year or two. She's gonna be on a whole different level. But I was watching her. And she.
That's your audience, though.
Yeah, she was my audience. I was like, man, I should have been with her when she first went. I said,
Are you willing to do a website?
Actually, I could do it. I could still do it with Patreon, and just not make those videos Patreon only. I could just open those videos up, publicly.
Yeah. There you go.
You know what? Matter of fact, I just posted one yesterday too. I was talking about how freeing it is. To be out of the green closet, and I was saying how, because not everybody's family is either not even necessarily on board, but you're not ready. Everybody ain't ready to. I hate to parallel it, because I don't like when people do the black struggle, but it's just like coming out gay. Everybody ain't ready. You know what I mean? People might be you could be grown and still be dependent on somebody. You might be living with your cousin, or you're still living with your parents, and they're not down with that. So you do have to be in the closet. I do understand, but I was basically saying there was a freedom with it, and I was saying how I was talking to someone, and I was saying, oh, you're just gonna be so free. And I just wanted to know, because to protect people's privacy, if I talk to their family and they don't know, I need to know they don't know,
Right.
Because I don't want to lie to their family, but I know how to talk in circles. A bitch know how to do shit. So.
Yes, you do. You are the
So. Yeah. A whole paragraph and all the like the special code and stuff. And I'm also cautious. It seemed like, I know that's what hashtags are for, but also that's what hashtags are for, and it just really attracts like the sheeple masses, you know, people who are just there just to be on a bandwagon, not because they're listening and actually can see where they agree with that thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Sometimes I see people, you know, on a bandwagon. It's something that I actually agree with, but I can see that this audience is just an audience that's just gonna be. I saw this little girl, a couple of weeks ago, and you know, her hair is very long. She grew a little hair out or whatever, and she was basically saying how she just used grease, like y'all, like people do the most, and also the hair typing system is trash, and you know, she wasn't really dogging it. She was just basically saying, yeah, and it's just trash, and it's just what I do, whatever. And it was so beautiful to me that I had left a comment. I was like, it is so beautiful to see a young woman turn into a lady. Like I was on her mama's jock that whole comment. I was like, girl, I was like, your mama did such an excellent job. Like, she didn't need to join the group. She was like,
Yes.
I don't know what y'all, you know, it's just grease. You know, that's what grew my hair. I don't know what to tell you. And she sounded like this shit I be saying. You know, I call myself gonna do a beauty guru video and end up saying, bitch, you don't need all that shit. I'm really thinking I'm gonna do a review of this product and end up being like, girl, bye. Don't spend no money.
Yes,
Quit
indeed.
spending your money and go in the kitchen.
I
Fuck you
love
mean.
it. And she,
I be like, why are you acting right now? It's time to wash it. And right after I wash it, it's like, nah, these curls finna be so tight, you ain't gonna even be able to do nothing. It be cute sometimes. It be cute. Sometimes it do, and sometimes it don't. Everybody be acting like it's a struggle. A bitch's hair is a struggle no matter how it is, and no matter how many wigs you do or don't wear, or how much weave you do or don't wear. It's just gonna always be a female struggle. That's what it is. You know, might as well count it as estrogen because it goes with the female struggle.
you will play with wigs and colors.
I love messing with some colors, girl. I was last night we was watching something. What was that called? Oh, Golden Needles. I thought it was gonna be some good martial arts film because it was made in '74 or some shit, but it wasn't that good. But anyway, so I put the movie on and I had started watching it because he knows that I'm still addicted to the wardrobe of the '70s. I was too young to really be able to delve into that, but whenever I get the chance, like right now, I would dress like Samantha Stevenson from Bewitched if I had the body. I would always wear that. I love the '70s clothes. I love them. I love them. Blaxploitation clothes. I love them. There was a episode of Good Times with Jay. One of the dudes had on this green velvet jumpsuit with big collars, and it was zipped up the front. It was a one-piece jumpsuit.
You still remember?
I want that jumpsuit so bad. So you know his nuts was probably cut up in that zipper.
You stupid?
I was like, and it was green velvet. It was the richest Kelly green. Oh yeah, so. But yeah, I love those. I love Lucy dresses. I used to love her, even though hers was more like 60s. But that Samantha Stevenson wardrobe on Bewitched, yes. Do you want me to wait until you hear confirmation from them? So let me know, cause I don't check it too much until there's an exchange. So just let me know.
I'll let you know. All right, baby. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, love
Thank
you.
I love you too, baby.
Okay.
Bye-bye.